This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The Drippers, the Grasshoppers, the Hip Ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Raise your consultants are standing by. We'll take caller 9-844-999-OLA, and you'll play Profile This in minutes. And we do have your headlines on the way 1 hour from now. First, quick check into Mike Hawk for some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right, researchers think they figured out a way to find cancer super early just by doing a simple blood test. They scan people's blood for tiny pieces of DNA that get released by cancer cells, and the test was 80 to 90% accurate for some types of cancer.
Damn.
So someday soon, it could be a part of a normal physical.
But he's not working on the rest of it, so don't get too excited.
Correct.
Good news, cancer breakthrough. Wish I was working on it.
Let me know when it's 100% accurate.
Thank God they are.
Yeah.
There's a woman in Australia who never washed off her mascara before bed, and after 25 years, she wound up with permanent black lumps embedded in her eyelids.
I saw a picture of this before I figured out what was going on with the story. The picture was disturbing enough to make me read what the hell happened to her.
Yeah, it's coming up on Profile This. Thanks, Mike.
And then once I got that, man, I was like, oh my God, it was troubling looking.
Is it that hard to get it off?
It's not.
It's
she
where
was
it is.
just lazy.
It's on the
Right.
inside of her eyelid now.
I mean, plenty of
No,
people
so
fall
I'm
asleep
saying-
in it, but after
right.
25 years, she never washed
She
it.
never washed it off.
It says doctors surgically removed them, but she wound up with scarring on her corneas that's never going to go away.
Yeah. I mean, wash your face, man.
For 25 years, too. Goodness gracious. It says, here are some crazy things people have admitted to eating. Shrimp tails, peanuts and pistachios with their shells still on, frozen burritos while they're still frozen, and date pits.
My favorite was Miles going, what's wrong with the shrimp tails? Most people just don't. My brother would eat them. I guess you eat them too, but...
I mean, I know if they're
depends on
supposed to
the
be, how they're prepared to be eaten.
Okay.
Yeah, like if you've tempura fried that whole shrimp, I mean,
You can eat them.
I'm gonna eat the tail.
And I saw a video of Mike Hawk eating a raw peanut with a whole peanut shell at a baseball game. However, boiled peanuts, you're supposed to enjoy
yeah, right,
the shell.
It wasn't raw, it was roasted.
Roasted is different than boiled. Like a
Okay.
boiled traditional, you can eat the shells, and they're good.
Mike, yeah, like in South Carolina, man, boiled peanuts are a
Georgia,
big thing.
shoot.
I love them.
Yeah, they're...
It wasn't bad at all, man. It had a very full peanut taste.
Because you ate the full peanut.
Correct.
Are those things that strange? I mean, pistachio would be tough just because that shell is hard.
It's hard to get through.
Frozen burritos while they're still frozen, I think that's weird.
That's
kinda-
just
that's just a
frozen
It's kinda like
burrito.
That's a drunk move.
It's like a
Yeah.
burrito popsicle.
And then date pits.
You just suck on the, refried beans until
I've
it
never
falls
been
out.
that drunk. And I've been really drunk, but a frozen burrito, man.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it's
I'm with you.
frozen. And it's not like ice cream where it's going to melt in your mouth. When it melts, now it's just a really cold...
Can you imagine licking like a bean burrito like it's ice cream?
That's what I mean. Like, ew, man.
According to a new survey for National Cheese Day, America's favorite cheeses are
Cheddar.
Provolone.
American.
cheddar and American both made the top. Mozzarella is number 3.
Oh, yeah.
And the kinds that we hate the most.
Blue cheese.
Blue cheese.
Blue cheese is on that list.
Even though I like it.
Gorgonzola.
Goat cheese and Limburger.
How do you
Well,
not? I love
Limburger,
goat
sure.
cheese. Goat cheese is great.
I don't know that I've had goat cheese.
You know, I often hate on soft cheeses, but I like a goat cheese.
Yeah, you would like it. I'm not a
Hate
brie
on
guy
soft
either,
cheese.
but lamb cheese, you're right. It's good.
There's nothing. Brie is like the tofu of cheese or the chicken of cheese. Like, just add something and it's good. But brie on its own is just kind of.
But have you ever had it when they broil it or roast it or whatever the hell they do?
Yeah,
And it
so
gets
like
all drippy?
oh.
Shoot.
A 26-year-old man in Canada was out jogging last month when a 2,000-pound bison spotted him and gored him in the butt.
That sucks.
Wow.
Yeah, I read that story. Said, man, I was just jogging by, kept jogging, then realized that it was going to follow, and then it closed in, and yeah, gored his ass.
Phew.
Where was this at, Mike?
Canada.
Canada. All right.
Canada, yeah.
All right. That
It sounds
more like
fancier when we say
Look
Canadian.
at this
Canada.
guy jogging a boot my area.
I put the horn in his boot.
Well, in Canada, the people are friendlier than the States, but the bison are meaner.
Clearly.
The bears are meaner.
Everybody knows that.
Elk and moose are meaner.
The bison are just short-tempered up there, doggone it.
They never say sorry once.
Sorry. Sorry about your butt.
A jeweler from Australia.
Sorry about your boot. I put a horn in your boot.
A boot to put a boot up your butt.
Now you got two holes back there. Hey, you get that's bison humor.
Mercy.
Right?
A jeweler from Australia is trying to sell a $1 million diamond-studded
Say it, Mike.
What is it?
sex toy.
A dildo.
Oh.
I read the story. It's a dildo.
That couldn't be. That wouldn't. That doesn't seem to have the right texture to it.
I would be
Diamond
angry
studded.
if you used it. Like, don't put
like-
it there,
seems
man.
Like it would hurt.
I mean, Miles, they are a girl's best friend.
Yeah. But not-
Well, they are now for sure.
Oh, no.
I didn't come up with a saying, Mike.
I know you didn't, but you put it in context, and that's good. Well done.
Yeah.
A woman in China recently got stopped by police for driving a bumper car on the highway.
a bumper car.
A bumper car.
Where do you even get a bumper car to drive loose?
I thought they ran on electric current.
Right?
Maybe she
Bumper
stole
car.
it.
I have no idea how it happened. I'm not working on it. Cold Stone Creamery is branching out and selling ice cream flavored cereal. Isn't that basically milk?
Well, ice cream's made of milk, so it's the same. It's not a stretch by any stretch.
You
of the
pour milk
imagination.
into the bowl, boom, you've got ice cream.
I mean, if you had ice cream flavored barbecue, I'd be like, I don't know how you did it.
You need milk to make ice cream.
Exactly. It's just a little bit more sugar, some vanilla or chocolate.
Is it just going to be like cornflakes that taste like...
They say the flavors are going to be, I'm not working
I
on
bet
it.
they're more like Fruit Loops and things that are just more identifiable.
As long as they don't
Frosted
have frozen
Flakes or-
toothpaste.
They're probably, you know what you could make? I think it's just a birthday cake cereal.
Like
People would eat that.
funfetti.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Hit
Oh,
the
yeah.
funfetti.
Little sprinkles in there.
Sprinkle cereal. If you're a Yoo-Hoo fan, they just started selling the new chocolate caramel flavor.
You who's still around, now you know.
Right?
That's basically what they
Yeah,
told you.
that's the news to
Don't
me.
forget us.
Is Yoo-Hoo chocolate milk?
It's
believe
chocolate
so.
something.
Something drink. It's a chocolatey drink.
Yeah, it's like chocolate.
Because they would
drink.
say it had milk in it. They'd be like, contains milk now.
Yeah. When you brag about stuff that people already assumed.
Seriously, we
Yeah.
seriously got dairy in here.
Hey, man, the worst one, me growing up, I don't know, I hit like 15, then Crayola. The Crayon all of a sudden said, now non-toxic.
Oh,
now,
Like,
now,
Jesus Christ, now?
now you can eat them.
The hell, man? Now? Like you're advertising that?
A real estate sign from New Jersey just showed up on a beach in France more than 5 years after it got washed away by Hurricane Sandy.
That's quite the journey.
Quite the voyage, yeah. 5 years to get there. All right.
That's amazing that actually happens. Like, I fathom how currents work and everything. It's
Yeah,
still,
but you wouldn't expect it, right?
yeah, it's still pretty amazing. And that washed off ashore here and then 5 years later showed up there.
And I'm pretty sure that sign had to go south, and it had to go into the Caribbean, and then it had to spin back up.
Yeah,
doesn't it? It goes counterclockwise,
In
correct?
5 years, man.
Right, it's got plenty of time to
so
go
it
over.
went south before it went over. So it went all the way down to the Caribbean and came all the way back up.
We do have an update about the 30-year-old man in New York who refused to leave his parents' house.
Is he out?
He has finally moved out.
All right.
Did he get a job or just move out?
The only update I have is that he moved out, Ted. I'm not working on the rest.
Good enough.
But Alex Jones, that guy, helped him move out.
Of all people.
I wonder how happy his parents are.
Oh, come
Right.
on, man.
Yeah.
If you got to take your kid to court and get their ass out.
And like, does he still come over? Do they set
No.
like guidelines?
No. Because if
it's
he comes over, he's not
No,
leaving.
No. He's the guy that
Hey,
you do not
buddy.
invite over.
Saying Christmas time, this could be weird.
A crayfish is going viral online because of a valiant escape.
Where do you escape from?
I'll tell you all about it 1 hour from now.
Thank you, Mike Hawk. Headlines are on the way 1 hour from now. First, the game is...
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
Steve Throwhill, can you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes a story a story. Hello, Lauren. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola! All right, Lauren, you understand how this here game is played?
Yeah, I played it a couple times.
All right, fantastic. Here is your story. Might cover this earlier, but there is a 50-year-old woman. She lived in Australia, never washed the mascara off of her face before she went to bed, and she did this for 25 years. Like Mike said, started having some serious pain in her eyes, and she never pieced together what it was. She goes to the doctor, and obviously they find a mascara buildup and created a bunch of permanent black lumps embedded in her eyelids.
Oh, that's gnarly.
She needed surgery to have the lumps removed, even though they're gone now. Like Mike said, still a scarring on both of her eyelids, corneas. She, in fact, says, what does she say? I fell into a bad habit. I should have never let it get this far. Well, no goddamn kidding. Doctors did treat it as best they could. If they didn't do it, she was going to go blind. The question is, do you believe that this disgusting genius, who, by the way, I think this speaks a lot about her general hygiene, do you believe this woman is black, white, Mexi, or Asian?
My first guess would be white, but doesn't Australia have, like, Aborigines and they're kind of...
Australia, it's kind of like the States, dude. They got a little bit of everything.
It's a toss-up between white and African. What do you guys think?
What were the options?
Black, white, Mexican, or Asian.
All right.
Lauren, my weird guess here is Asian for some dumb reason.
Were they black dots because they were always black mascara?
I'm assuming she always had black mascara, but who knows? I think most mascara is black. As far as either way, by the time it collected, came out 25 years.
Right, we're talking mascara, not eyeshadow. Sorry, I was thinking of the wrong thing.
Yes, the mascara, right.
I feel like eyeshadow could give us a hint. That's a tough one.
Yeah, eyeshadow definitely gave you a hint.
And you didn't say what her name was, did you?
I did not. Not that it would have mattered too much. It's a fairly innocuous name.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. I'm kind of leaning white or Asian.
I think I'm going to go with white.
You going to go white, final answer, Lauren?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to find out if she was black, white, Mexican, or Asian next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bitches. You're listening to the Men's Room.
Profile this takes us down to Australia, and a woman who never washed her face, apparently, and that wouldn't be problematic if it wasn't for the fact that she never washed the mascara off of her eyes. And now she has these incredibly big lumps and black scars on the inside of her eyelids because she never washed her mascara. Doctors did the best they could to save her vision, but obviously her corneas are scratched and everything else from this.
And we asked you, did you think she was black, white, Mexican, or Asian? And you went back and forth. But in the end, you went white.
Yep.
You are correct, sir. All right. Now for TV news all the time, it is time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box,
Armageddon.
The Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Toughest sport. If people said, hey, that's a tough sport, what would you go with?
Skill level, collisions, hockey's
Collision,
tough because
like violence.
UFC.
Hockey and football.
Right. UFC or MMA would be in there because it's a combat sport.
Sure.
Right?
Hockey
And-
because they allow boxing in a non-boxing sport.
Yeah, and you can check people. And I would put the NFL right up there, right? Like you're
Based on the
hitting people.
danger of it, yeah.
Yeah. So Clay Matthews, by the way, is Clay Matthews just famous enough he doesn't need to be junior anymore?
I think so. I think he stands on his own.
Yeah. I'm the old guy. It's like his dad was Clay Matthews, and he played for the Browns.
Mm-hmm. He did.
And
he was a great player.
Yeah, but it's only because I went through that 3-year period where I liked him. So Clay Matthews Jr., as I know him, of course, Clay Matthews. Number one, great hair.
Yes,
Number two,
fantastic.
great flow, as they would say in hockey. Number two, he's a fantastic linebacker for the Green Bay Packers. Mm-hmm. So he's used to violent hits. You think that would be, maybe a way he'd get injured, but like a lot of football players in the offseason, he holds a slow pitch softball tournament.
Oh, yay!
And he took a line drive right off his face.
Was Ben Aqua?
Yeah, he got hit in the nose. I don't really know exactly what the deal is right now. I know he was in a lot of pain and he was leaking a little bit, but tough guy because I would have still been on that ground right now. But we just gonna pray for him and hope that he feels better soon.
So that was Dante Adams, a receiver for the Packers who was playing in the game. No, he was pitching, Miles.
Yeah. Oh. Are we in the tree here? I did something that I normally wouldn't tell anybody about, but I did it anyway. Because it was kind of a gift.
Okay.
But I had a softball glove.
Okay.
It didn't really mean a lot to me. It wasn't completely broken in. It was kind of halfway broken in. Hadn't used it in probably 10 years. Made that decision in my life. Now, if you want to go out and throw, catch, baseball, I would love to do that, but now I don't have a glove.
Uh-huh.
Because what I determined was that every time that I played softball, up until that time, I injured myself. I was in much better shape as far as just my ability to be stronger and play the game, much more so than I am now. But if you ask me, hey, you want to go play softball? I'd be like, nah, all right.
Sure.
And I'd go out there, and I know I would hurt myself. And, man, I've taken so many shots from balls in my life. I know my reflexes aren't as quick. I know I'm gonna hurt myself, and I'm gonna end up really messed up. And softball, people don't realize how dangerous of a sport it is if you're dealing with amateurs who don't play all the time and know there's certain things. You can't be late on a pitch in softball. You have to know you have to wait for your pitch, or you have to know how to directionally hit. If you're a little bit late, you're going to kill the pitcher, and everybody knows that. but I don't know that I have that control.
Right, it's like a big no-no. You're not supposed to hit it up the middle and slow pitch.
No.
Or if you do, somebody goes, all right, the middle's open.
Or maybe they have a screen.
But you're not trying to.
Like they do, like when a coach
I don't
throws
think,
BP
I don't
or
think
something.
it's a celebrity softball game. So you're right. I don't think anybody was trying to hurt
If you
him.
play softball, I'm going to hit it up the middle, not because I'm trying to. I just want to hit the ball. You guys have a little more control, right?
I mean, no.
Because you guys would have been like, I can't believe he hit the pitcher. I'd have been like, what are you talking? I didn't try it. Like, don't hit it up the middle. I didn't try to hit it up the middle. We used to play softball here, and one of the guys on our team, kind of a notorious drunk, but fun drunk, okay? And one thing he would not be known for are reflexes.
Right.
And he throws this pitch, and I don't remember who it, but this guy crushes this ball, and it makes a beeline for this guy's face. And in the quarter second it took to go from the bat to this guy's face, we all said, oh, no. You want to talk about the fastest reflexes ever. This dude's glove caught this ball. And, I mean, we were like, holy
Once
crap.
I saw that,
and he even told you, he's like, look, man, somehow, he's like, I don't remember doing it. I just don't want my face destroyed.
Life and death.
Yeah, I've never seen him move that fast in my life.
And charity shouldn't be life and death.
Yeah,
well, and you're right. And look, trust me, as soon as I saw this, I was like, oh, Miles can be fired up. Because he's always like, you just
I didn't see it. I never saw it.
Oh, well, it's at the Men's Room Facebook page. So
Okay.
you could watch it for yourself.
All right. Well, I believe it. See,
And I respect that. I think it was his tournament. He's going to pitch and go out there, and then boom. And I mean, it splits his nose open.
oh, I'm sure.
Like the way he said.
Probably broke his orbital or his nose or something.
Oh, I'm sure.
What do you say? Oh, it was leaking a little bit.
Yeah,
He'll be
leaking.
all right.
Like leaking, huh? Is that the word?
I think there is some irony, too, in that a guy that's that tough, you know, he trains MMA as well. He's a middle linebacker, but he broke his nose playing softball.
It's different when you
Isn't
get a
that how
ball
it
coming
goes?
back at you at 130 miles an hour. That's your reflexes might not be the same.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a different
It's
thing.
just hand-eye coordination. It's just different.
Obviously, if you've been following sports at all, you would know that the Golden State Warriors are playing once again the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Even if you've been in a coma for the last 4, same thing.
right.
Same game.
You went to a coma in 2014, and guess what? It's still going on.
Jimmy Kimmel had some thoughts on that.
Game 2 of the NBA Finals, the Warriors versus the Cavaliers. Yes, you are watching the same matchup you've watched the last 3 years. This is not a rerun. This is that magical time of the year when NBA players fly back and forth from Oakland to Cleveland like they're regional insurance salesmen. But this matchup, this series, is a big deal for this network. Other than Grey's Anatomy, Cavs Warriors is the longest-running drama we have on the nation. The Cavaliers are the underdog in this series. It feels weird to root for LeBron James as the underdog. It's kind of like rooting for Leonardo DiCaprio to get laid.
Right? I mean, he makes a great point. They keep playing. I mean, right. And again, this has not happened in major sports. We have the same teams 4 years in a row.
I was going to ask, does this become like the new, it was what, Lakers, Celtics was all the big thing? I mean, as far as rivalries go, there's no real natural rivalry. But,
well, I mean, it is what it is
but
now.
when
But after
you
this
play
year,
4 in a row, it's like, okay, man, this is...
Cavaliers will be disseminated. LeBron will be on a new team next year. So it'll be whatever team LeBron is on against, unless he goes to Golden State, then I'm not sure who they're going to...
That would
Yeah.
be ridiculous.
It could happen.
I don't
That
think
would not
Clippers,
even
maybe?
be fair.
Do you think that somebody like...
No.
You don't think so?
No. But if he went to Golden State, I'm with you. I would be
mean-
like, what's the point of watching? Because you had the best team in the league just to have the best player.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, right.
Yeah, he could go to Houston as well. You know, Houston had a
That
great
would
run
be
there.
good. That'd be
but
good.
I wouldn't give up on the Cavs just yet.
Okay.
You know, they
Look, man,
As
they
far as
made
keeping
it,
him?
they made it to the finals 4 years in a row. So when everyone says all the stuff about LeBron, he's getting sick, it's like, this is the 4th in a row, man.
I will say,
and
you could tell it's been 4 years, though, because they are chippy. I don't know if you've been watching it all.
But see, it's one thing I really enjoyed is the fact that they keep facing each other. Right, it's a lot different when you play. It's a lot more physical. Green's getting in everybody's grill, but I kind of enjoy it because they're still playing good games.
And not only that, the
Yeah.
Cavaliers have had a different team every time they played them, with the exception of LeBron. So they keep trying to put together a different, you know what I mean?
Right.
LeBron
and they
and
know
Kevin
it.
Love, yeah.
Yeah.
But here's also, too, is like I saw some people kind of think that, you know, Steph Curry and the Warriors kind of are chirping a lot these days. But 2 years ago, when they blew that 3-1 lead, like Cleveland did not let it go.
Oh, no.
LeBron had a Halloween party months later, and all the cookies were iced with 3-1 on them.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, this rivalry is legit kind of, you know, it's it's the best way to say it.
For a good reason.
Right, like they've both been kind of taking little shots at each other here and there. So I like it, and honestly, I like to see Steph Curry. you know, sometimes people call him soft and stuff, and it's like, well,
he can drop one from 50 out.
Yeah.
He can end a game from half court.
I'm watching the game the other night with my kid, and they're playing great defense on it. There's nowhere to go with the ball. He has to be 12 feet behind the line, and he just drains this three. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Yeah. Basically, the shot clock was running out. There's nothing he could do, so he takes the shot. But it didn't even look like a desperation shot. It was just the cleanest, longest three I've seen.
I think that's the purest shooter in the history of basketball. I mean, you could say, like, well, Jerry West had the best form. I think Steph Curry, and I've never seen I think he's the purest shooter. Larry Bird, you could say, pure shooter, all right? But I'm telling you, Steph Curry is making baskets that Larry Bird would never even think to practice to take.
Right. And that's one of those things, too. LeBron James, to me, when he drives with the ball, is one of the, like, he's the best at it. Right. And Steph Curry, you could watch him shoot from far away. All right. We got some more Roseanne Barr stuff. Basically, show gets canceled. She was going to leave Twitter. She didn't.
Of course.
She's still out there tweeting. And then she was supposed to be on a couple different things. There was word she was going to be on Joe Rogan's podcast. He tweets out, hey, it's not happening. She's gone radio silent on me. And then she went on a different podcast hosted by a celebrity rabbi. And then, according to reports, she was kind of rambling, sobbing, very apologetic. Either way, the rabbi didn't put it out. He said out of respect to her.
It was that bad, that messy?
It must have been.
Okay.
Right? If he's like, I don't want to put it, I want to give her space to reflect on, on the recent
Thank God
events.
somebody has a moral compass then. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, just let it be what it's going to be. We'll revisit it sooner or later, I'm sure.
So a lot of stories are going around, too, that Sarah Gilbert's character, Darlene, who you could argue is one of the most popular characters on that show, that she might get a spinoff. But that's all speculation. And you got to keep in mind, like, the show's called Roseanne because it's Roseanne's show. So if you're going to have a spinoff, like, you probably still have to pay her, which I'm not sure ABC is going to want to do since they just canceled the show. So I don't know. Again, these are just rumors. There could be a spinoff.
If she's proprietary over all of, like, the characters' names, etc., then yeah. But, I mean, look, she's going to make money no matter what. I would, if I'm ABC, and I think I can get juice out of this spinoff if you can continue on, I don't have a problem paying Roseanne. Keep in mind, ABC, they just did the thing because you know what reaction's going to be, right? The tweet went out and you go, hey, man, we severed all ties. We're not dealing with it. We're not dealing with it, not dealing with it, right? But in the end, a year from now, if she's getting whatever percentage, I don't think they care.
Plus, Roseanne's got plenty of money. If she keeps saying that, you know, she wants it back for people's jobs and stuff, well, then just give your blessing to the spinoff.
I'll also say that I think they put some really good people around that show to write for that show and to create the content for that show. And one of the things they did were, hey, what are we divided on as a country? Let's address it. Let's talk about it. Let's bring it up in the script. And, you know, we'll take sides on it, but it will be addressed, and it also could be addressed through comedy or however they want to do it. I don't think that formula necessarily couldn't happen someplace else with the same writers. Look, they just brought back the characters who are reading the parts that these writers write.
Well, it's
and
not
these are
that,
good,
but you knew, you're right, they could write
characters.
Good
exactly.
stuff. And it's not just that they're established, but Roseanne Barr herself, the actress, the comedian, and her character on the show, she's always been outspoken. So it's kind of a safe bet with her, like, all right, you can do it with her.
Yeah. I think they can be successful with a. I mean, yeah. They had some great. Wanda Sykes, they had. There was a number of people working on that show that were, I don't know, that you would just think could have their own show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Morgan Murphy, you know, there was a lot of people behind the scenes you didn't even see that were like, wow, they work for that damn thing? Damn.
We talked a little bit about Lethal Weapon. Again, this is another crazy story from TV these days. The show has been greenlit for another season, but one of the main characters, basically, they said, hey, we don't want you to come back. You're causing too much of an issue. What's his name? Clarence Crawford. So we've heard about this stuff, but we've only heard it secondhand, right? So Variety put out a couple clips of him kind of being a jerk. First one, and this is the one I'm going to play you. The first one, and this one is kind of vicious. He's talking to Damon Wayans, who's his co-star, the other like big star in the show, and called him a crybaby P.
So this is not part of the actual show. This is behind the scenes.
Nothing to do with the show. Okay. And then he said he also told Wayans that he was only famous because his brothers are, quote, in the game. All right? Now, the one you're going to listen to is, I guess they're shooting on a set and out and around the corner or something is a pool.
All right.
And he feels like they're being a little too loud.
What do you think I should do? What's that? I No! Shut the f*** up! God, Newman, they're right here. Get somebody in here with a walkie and shut them the f*** up! Or did we not pay for this place? If we did, shut them the f*** up!
I mean,
Yeah.
like that's got to be a fun day on set for everybody.
What's he
involved.
on, do you think? Coke?
No,
Just straight Coke?
he's just one of those people.
All right.
I mean, he could
Crack?
be messed
I mean,
up.
like, what's he on? Ambien?
Yeah,
Could
like-
be that jacked up.
He just runs around yelling and nobody checks him.
Yeah,
so why
exactly.
would I don't care how old you know, like you guys always say, like kids are generally going to grow up to be the same kind of kid. I think it's the same thing. Like this guy ran around the set and acted like an a-hole until he lost his job. It was fine. So why would he stop doing that?
Yeah.
Well, he will now.
Right. Well,
Or,
now,
I know
now
it's like-
there's a bit of consequence, right? He'll probably rethink it. But honestly, the other one I didn't play for you. I mean, it was just brutal, and it sounds like it's in between clips. And him and Wayne's, I don't know how it starts, but I mean, they're just being. And Wayne's is like him and Wayne's is just finally it's just like that's my D. Like, so I mean,
That's gotta suck. Then at some point, though, you go
kicked his ass.
and action, and they got to act like it's your best friend again.
Can't believe somebody just beat the living hell out of him.
I don't know, man.
well, right, but I mean, if you're Damon Wayans, right, like you can't beat up your co-star.
Yeah, I mean,
You can't, dude.
I mean,
Come on. You want to have that job.
Yeah, right.
You're not going to get in a fight at a workplace. Now, that guy's an idiot, thus he lost his job. But, I mean, I don't blame Damon Wayans either. Like, you're not going to get in a fight at work.
well, in the end, one of them still has a job.
Right. And that's a great point. That's exactly what it is.
That's kind of like, hey, man, you make a decision then. And although, to be fair, I've never seen the show.
Neither have I. Actually, it does okay. That's why it's coming back for a third
It just
year.
seems like one of those people who's never been beaten up.
Probably.
So they continue
I'm
to
not
act
saying
like
he
that.
doesn't deserve, or, probably couldn't benefit from it. I'm just saying, like,
Alec Baldwin, like, shut up. And just,
See, Alec Baldwin can get away with it, though, because you go, well, it's Alec Baldwin. Somebody you'd expect him to throw a punch, or maybe not expect him to, but you'd be like, it seems like something he would do.
let's see. Jimmy Fallon always has some funny thank you notes, and this one features a pretty big baseball star.
Thank you, Horseshoes, for encouraging my drunk friends to throw heavy pieces of metal in my backyard. It's always fun. Not dangerous. Thank you, Coleslaw, or as I like to call you after 5 minutes, Plate Juice. Thank you, Starbucks logo, for answering the question, what if a mermaid threw up gang signs? Thank you, Huggies, for being named after the last thing you would ever want to give a diaper.
There's plate juice here.
Thank you, Nantucket Nectars, for being Snapples with the trust fund. Thank you, Yankee slugger Giancarlo Stanton, for leaving Miami for New York, or as that's also known, the reverse grandma.
What are you doing here?
Well, it's my first year here in New York, so I wanted to write a little thank you note, if that's all right.
Right, thank you. No, sure.
Thank you, New York, for welcoming me with open arms. You booed me in the past, but now it's time for you to be my boo. We can take long strolls through Central Park, and maybe one day I'll even put a ring on it.
Sadly, he's right.
Yeah.
Now you can be my boo.
Like that Yankees team eventually, they're going to win a ring.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Who do you think, by the way, is the most famous baseball player or the best baseball player in the major leagues right now?
Right now?
Oh, boy.
I can legitimately say I don't have an answer for that, man.
All right, so baseball's still popular, but I was talking about it with a couple friends, like, most people know, like, their local teams, right?
Sure. But beyond that, wasn't that the thing about the juice years with Sammy
McGuire
Sosa,
and Sammy Sosa?
Like, look, I'm not saying what they did was right, but I think baseball has to acknowledge that particular season, a couple seasons around that, man, just the home run chases. And, you're right, these guys were bigger than baseball. They were bigger than life, but it made it interesting.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm with you. Like it seemed like an odd question to just say who do you think's the best player in Major League Baseball. But then everybody I've been asking to, outside of a couple people that really like, people are just kind of caught and they're like,
I feel like baseball lacks a certain
Harper.
amount of personality, even though the players themselves probably have more personality than most people are going to meet. But
you could
for
see
whatever
every
reason,
day.
the NFL, it could be Des Bryant. You can like him, you can not. He can be on the team, you can not. But you will talk about him. NFL, hockey, they have even tennis. You know what I mean? Every sport has somebody or somebodies. In baseball, it's like I like this team.
Honest to God, under the radar, and he probably does get the credit because he's thrown a no-hitter, but James Paxton right now is probably the best player in baseball.
All right.
Based on how he's pitched the last 5 performances.
All right, give me a position player.
That's a streak.
See, it's easier to come up with a pitcher, right? But the position player.
Oh,
so, this isn't good for baseball.
No, I'm in
like
trouble.
people are legit kind of stumped.
You're
like,
right, Bryce Harper.
Right? But I always said Bryce Harper because I'll watch the Nationals.
Well, also
I know why and he is good, but I'm like, right, that's your team.
Yeah. All right, everybody got homework. Tomorrow I want to know who your favorite baseball player is.
No, the best one.
Current.
Not
Position
favorite.
player.
Not favorite. Best.
The best. Yeah, your best.
The best. Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. All right, we got the headlines coming up here with Mike in just a few minutes. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Brave Crawl Daddy wins hearts of millions by crawling out of a boiling pot. Meanwhile, a Canadian policeman eating a Tim Hortons donut sees a glow, and a driver does get caught. Oregon man on a motorcycle loses life along with a bear that ran on the road. Dancing FBI agent forgets that his gun has a safety mode. And Dallas woman shoots husband for beating the cat. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cop.
All right, our top story, a crayfish in China was filmed at a restaurant escaping from certain death and went to great lengths to get there. The video shows the crayfish squirming on the edge of a pot of boiling spicy sauce that he had already dipped a claw into. Unable to escape because of the claw in the pot, I don't know why, maybe it was just already cooked or something like that, the crustacean actually took drastic measures and tore its own claw off. He then begins to scamper away as the video ends. The man that took the video admits to have adopted the crayfish as a pet afterwards.
Hey, does that reminded... What was the movie with James Franco, the real story? He was a hiker in Utah.
Hours.
Right, okay. Is he like that of the crayfish world? Like, hey, man, with a certain death, I ended up taking off my own claw because that's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah, only it's like 127 milliseconds.
Yeah, that's true. But hot.
I got to be honest with you. Up until I read the story, and I know this is a dumb way of thinking, but I thought the crawfish, was only like really a New Orleans style thing. Like I'd never heard of any other culture, any other country, anywhere else incorporating crayfish into food in any way. So when I read the story, I was like, well, I'll be damned. Because what's Chinese crayfish food? Like, what do they put it in? They just
apparently
steam it like
spicy sauce.
Yeah, but they steam it like they do in New Orleans, or how's it served?
Boil them.
Yeah, they boil it.
Just boiled and standard way of doing it.
They cook up the sauce, and then apparently they dip them in there, and I guess they just kind of take them in a bucket and shove it over, because I don't know how this crayfish didn't end up in the pot.
I'm down with that, man.
He was just close to it.
Right, but he had one claw in it, so I'm guessing that he had like a bunch of his buddies in there already dead, and he didn't know what was going on. I don't know how that happened, but
or they were dying, and he's like, I don't hear you.
Around the world in Canada, a woman was pulled over for distracted driving, but she claims she was just checking the time. The incident occurred in Ontario at a red light where the officer was stopped next to the woman. While at the light, the officer noticed that the woman glanced at her watch no less than 4 times during the red light. He said that he saw the glow. And then he even needed to flash a light at her to get her to move after the light turned green. He then pulled her over and ticketed her for distracted driving, but she claims that she was just checking the time on her Apple Watch.
No, she wasn't. If she was sitting there not paying attention to the light, it changed green. He had to flash a light at her to make her go through the light, and she continually looking at her watch. She's lying.
Right. It was an Apple Watch. You can do a lot more to check your time with your Apple Watch. The court ruled against the woman, and she was charged.
Yeah, exactly.
In other news, the battle between man versus beast continues, and in this episode, someone has switched alliances.
Uh-oh.
A woman in Dallas was arrested and is due in court for taking matters into her own hands to keep her husband from beating the family cat. I know how that sounds. During the arrest, she told detectives that in order to protect the cat, the woman shot her husband multiple times and killed him.
Damn.
She was taken to the county jail on a $100,000 bond.
You think the cat, they shoot him again.
No, the cat's trying to figure out how to kill the other one.
You know what? You're right.
Mm-hmm.
The meow was their way of saying, I'm going to kill you.
We talked about this earlier today. In Denver, Colorado, an off-duty FBI agent has landed himself in hot water after showing off his moves at a nightclub. A video taken and posted online shows the agent tearing up the dance floor and attempting a backflip. During the backflip, something came toppling out of the back of his pants. It doesn't take anybody long to notice that it is the agent's weapon that hits the ground. Despite the awkwardness, nothing goes wrong until the agent hurriedly grabs for the gun, and it goes off. He shot a man in the leg. He's totally fine. That's it for your headlines with that. Mike Hawk is out.
Hey, Mike, we appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow. Drug and Charge. Ryan Castle is in with 10 great mashups on Sit and Spin and the return of Ask the Men's Room.
Yes, indeed. It is all true, but in the meantime, we be all about this bitch. Until tomorrow, do what you do best, and for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.